Hello, I'm Mick Lynch, General Secretary. I'm here to give you a very important update on the dispute with the train operating companies in defence of your jobs, pay and conditions. Today we met with the RDG again and they clarified to us their position on the disputes resolution procedure which we've been considering around the union for the last couple of weeks. In that discussion they stated to me clearly and explicitly a new position in their regard to that document. What they have said to us is that we will not be able to take the first stage payment and then enter into the negotiations on the second stage. That means that they will not pay 5% and the £1,750 underpin if we endorse the document. What they are now saying to us is that we would have to terminate our dispute, end all industrial action, and terminate our industrial action mandate. This is a very serious development in this dispute, and we regard their position as reneging and reversing on what is in that document. It's my strong feeling, and that of your NEC, that this is at the behest of the Tory government because they want to escalate this dispute. And they do not want to give us what was written down in clear terms in that document. So they are now saying that we have to go into the second stage negotiations without an industrial action mandate and without the ability to take that action if those talks break down and they seek to impose upon us those detrimental terms and conditions which they are offering in return for a very poor pay rise of 4%. I've reported that to your National Executive today, and they obviously regard this as a very serious development in this dispute. It also means that our understanding and perception of the way forward in this dispute has been undermined and in fact destroyed. Further to that, we have today received proposals from the RDG for our train driver members around all the top companies. To add insult to injury, the proposals for train drivers are even worse than those that have been proposed for the other grades in our union. What they are proposing for our drivers is 4% last year, as opposed to the 5% with an underpin that we already have for other grades, and 4% for the next year, the second year. In return, they are seeking some fundamental changes to working practices, agreements and terms and conditions. I'm not going to list all those to you today. You can see those in the documentation that will be released, but they are equally as onerous as those for the other grades and will mean fundamental changes to the way our drivers work, to the way new entrants are rewarded in terms of salary, training packages and so forth. Taken together, these two developments mean that this dispute has now been fundamentally altered, and we will return, I believe, to where we've been throughout the dispute, that the companies at the behest of the Tory government are seeking to impose drastic changes and detrimental changes to your conditions and your working life. In response to these developments, your NEC has met this afternoon and taken on board all of these issues. And they've reached the following conclusions. One, that the development is entirely unacceptable and that the disputes resolution process is now of no use to us as a union. That means that we will not enter into that disputes resolution process, and the union has rejected the document. We've also rejected the document that affects our driver members. We've also decided that we must take further industrial action. Our sister union ASLEF have also decided to take further action, and they have named 3 dates in May and early June. Your National Executive has decided to put strike action on for 24 hours on Saturday, the 13th of May. We call on all of you to take that action, get on those picket lines and keep this dispute going. In the meantime, we await our ballot results, which will come through next Thursday on May the 4th, and we will give further consideration to a programme of industrial action when we get those results. We are expecting a very strong yes vote from what we've heard from our members, but I must emphasise to you that you must continue to vote yes if you haven't already done so, and make sure that ballot paper is returned to us by Thursday, May the 4th. This means that the dispute remains alive. It means that we're in the same position that we were in at the start of the dispute and where we were before they made the proposals on the dispute resolutions procedure, which they have now effectively rescinded. We cannot tolerate this level of interference in our disputes and having the government effectively rescind a document that has been put to us by your employers. So once again, I say to you, let's stick together, let's take the action. Two unions remain in this dispute. We are both committed to pursuing our agenda of a fair pay rise, defending your conditions and getting you job security in our industry. So take the action, vote yes, stand by your union and stand by each other. Thank you very much.